And we are live. You can catch us on Rumble and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be right back with you, Howlers. We'll be right back. Howls over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas, and this episode is called Fired Up. So I'll let you know right now why that's called Fired Up in a little bit. But don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I know we've been going live all day. We have 2 more episodes. So we have this one and then one more right after. So I'm going to go ahead and go around the room. You guys know the drill. So we're going to start over here. Welcome back to the show, Devin. And why don't you tell the audience again a little bit about who you are and what you do for Camp Agape.
All right. Well, my name's Devin. I'm a mentor here. I'm actually a junior mentor lead this year. So what I do is that I come and I get the kids that are aging out, 18, 19, 20, coming back to be mentors and speaking life into them, teaching them how to just mentor, teach them how to be fired up, you know what I mean, and just roll and do the things that we do, and basically just teaching them how to serve, man. These young men are learning how to serve and just getting, other mentors and stuff like John and PJ and Steven and all them just kind of like speaking life into them.
So why don't you tell the audience why I named this episode Fired Up?
Oh, man, because I'm fired up 24/7. And when I'm at camp, this ain't my regular voice, but, you know what I mean, it's still here. So I'm fired up all the time. I fire everybody up, and we just get it going. We're just fired up, man.
So we're going to go to you. If you can just look at the camera, let them know who you are and what you do for the camp.
So my name's David Guevara, my last name. What I'm doing for the camp this year is I'm just learning how to be a mentor and how to show these kids love, like God's love and the love that everyone's always showing me when I was an angel at this camp. And so, so it's just really cool to be back as on the other side of things, because I was always a mentor, or not a mentor, an angel. And so that was always really cool.
So you were a former angel?
Yeah, I was an angel for maybe 4 or 5 years.
So, oh wow, yeah. Okay. So what did the camp and Jesus obviously do for you in order for you to want to become a mentor?
Well, just people like Devin and a lot of the other people that are here, just really showing you God's love and like what real love is, just to feel like, wow, like I'm wanted, fool. Like I'm wanted, like people like when I'm here, like people like to see me come back, and it's just a really nice feeling to be, because growing up in some of the places that some of us grew up, you don't ever get that feeling of like real love, of like, hey, we like you when you're here, like please come back, we would want to see you next year, like. And so getting that feeling and being able to give that feeling back to these kids is something that really made me want to come back. And then
is this your first year?
This is my first year as a mentor. Okay. Yeah.
What do you think about that? How does that make you feel, knowing that you're one of the people that inspired him, and that you've seen him before that, and he's here now as a mentor?
Man, it's a blessing. It humbles you, like it really humbles you. To see these kids that are coming back and say, well, hey, I want to come back because Devin, this or that, you know what I mean, or other people are just being a part of that. I know it's more than just me, and of course it's God working through me. But it's humbling. It's and then not only humbling, it makes me want to do better. You know what I mean? It makes me want to like really pour into these kids. So I'm taking the role I have this year very seriously. And hopefully that it'll snowball into something bigger, because I'm used to being a cabin lead. I'm used to being in a whole cabin of kids, and it's a little different. And it's a little bit more responsibility, right? You got to have that leadership. You got to lead by example. I can't just tell these kids to do these things. I have to do it myself. So if they're going to sit there and scrub a toilet, I'm going to sit there and scrub the toilet next to them. I'm not going to sit there and tell these kids not to do anything that I wouldn't do. You know what I mean? So it like for that, and you know, for him to tell me that and to hear that, It's very humbling and honoring, and it makes you think like, hey, you know what, you need to step up to the next level, whatever that may be, however that looks.
So when he was here 5 years ago, and did you remember him when he first came?
No,
When do you remember him?
I remember him a lot last year, and it's funny because my kids remember him. When my daughter Athena came to camp for the first time, he was on her team. And my other son Aiden, that is a mentor here now, was actually an angel before, and his younger son Gabriel was on his shoulders. So my kids were actually in his life before I was. I noticed him a lot last year. God like highlighted him to me last year.
Okay.
And you know, that's why I call him Young King, because I feel like he's a leader. I'd walk up to my, you're a leader, Young King, you know, and that's what I've been calling him.
What do you see that the difference in him from last year to this year?
The hunger for Jesus, the hunger to know him, the hunger to have a relationship, the willingness to serve. I saw that last year, and to be a leader, you have to be willing to serve, right? You have to serve, you have to be able to, man. PJ did a great message on trust, about how Jesus kneeled before you kneel before him, right, to wash the feet. And I see that in him, willing to serve. Oh, we got to get up at 4:30? Cool. Hey, I got to get in my word? Cool. We got to do this, that, or this? Cool. He's already been seen, and I've already seen some of the people would say, hey, we're having this problem with this angel. Can you come in? Can you step in? And yeah, I'll give him my best. And it's those kind of traits that he has that I saw highlighted last year. So I started reaching out to him from last year, and we've been communicating a lot throughout before camp.
So when you came here 5 years ago, where were you at mentally?
Mentally, I don't think I was. I don't think I was too great. The reason that I started coming to camp was I found out about this camp through Angel Tree, because my dad was always in and out of jail because my dad is schizophrenic. So I came to this camp, and I always like kind of had that small belief, like, yeah, there's got to be God, because we're not here for just to be here. It's not YOLO. We're not here because you only live once. Like, there's got to be a reason behind everything. And so I knew that there's got to be God, but at the same time, like I was kind of mad. Like, all right, yeah, there is a God, and everybody's telling me how great he is and everything that he does for them. But where are you for my dad and me, like my family who's struggling, you know? And so I wasn't too great, you know. I was here a little bit more for the girls, to cause some trouble, get some attention. And so it was pretty tough. But for some reason, I just kept feeling like I gotta come back. Like, and this isn't my first camp that I've ever been to. That's a church camp. I've always went to church and stuff. And there's no camp that's ever touched me how this camp will touch me. And because I've been to maybe 8 or 9 others, and I was like, I'm probably not coming back to this ever. And I don't think they want me back either. So, but then this camp, I was just like, I gotta go back next year, just see what's up. And so it was just like next year, and now it's like.
When did you see that turn where you were like the spark that hit you, where you're like, okay, this is changing me?
Well, I could just feel it softening my heart, because I always came here like mad dogging everybody, like, who's this, who's that? And then like all of a sudden, like slowly but surely, I was like smiling every now and then. I'm like, well, like why am I happy like this here? Like, why do I feel the way that I feel here? And so it made me curious to always like want to come back.
So it was like a slow process.
Yeah, it was.
And you weren't really catching it. It was just kind of happening.
Yeah, and so over the years was when I kind of started to open my eyes and see like, wow, dude, like God's doing this in that kid, and God's doing that in this kid, and then everybody's telling me like, God's doing this in you. I'm like, what? Like, God's using me to touch other people, like, and like even Devin and his wife would tell me, we went to a fundraiser, and this is something that they tell me not too often, but I've heard it before. But I went to a fundraiser for camp, and I gave my testimony, and they told me like there wasn't a dry eye in there, like you are touching people's hearts, and I never thought I could ever do that. Because growing up, I said in a video that I made here, I always thought that I was meant to take lives, whether it was in the streets or even in the military. I wanted to go just to take lives. But after like this camp, I was like, dude, like I could save lives. Like I could stop kids from like suicide. I could stop kids from dying in the streets. Like that's not the past for you. Like, and you could live another way, because I never knew how to really live another way until I came here and I saw people like Devin, people like Junior, who lived that, and now they're happy. They're not looking over their shoulders every 5 seconds, like who's behind me, and like paranoid. And that's how I just always was, and I didn't want to live like that anymore. And seeing something like who they are and how they're living.
How old were you though when you were thinking, I'm here to take lives? How old were you? Because like the devil was lying to you big time at an early age.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to take lives, So how old were you, like, when you were thinking that?
Well, I kind of started thinking that way when I was maybe around like 12 or 13. Wow. Because not even because of like street stuff. I watched a movie about 9/11, and I was like, well, dude, like, I want to go to Afghanistan. Like, I want to, like, it made me so mad that I was just like, you know what, I'm here to kill. Like, and
then he saw leadership in you. What did that do to you, like mentally? Him telling you, I see leadership in you.
I've always kind of been a leader, and I've always kind of known it a little bit, but I never wanted to take that leadership role on in anything other than sports. Because I grew up playing a lot of sports, and I was a real leader in sports. I love to be a leader in sports. I love to be that dude who was like, pass him the ball and he'll make it happen. And then, but once I started coming here, I was just like, that family feel. I was like, what? Like, I would love to lead these kids into like everything that these people have led me into. Like,
Devin, you said Devin and other people, what has seeing them and the change in them, what has that done to you? Like thinking wise, what has that done to you, seeing the way that they lived? They were kind of like you, and then everything changed about them. What has that done to you?
It just kind of let me know that I don't have to live paranoid. I don't have to live mad at the world. Like, I could live happy. Like, yeah, the past was the past. Things did happen, but like we're good now, and like I got God now. Like, I really got God now, and I could talk to God whenever I want to. And He's like the only one who's ever really gonna be there anytime I need Him, like no matter what. And so, I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
No, you're good, man. Well, I was going to go to him too, in a sense. So, you seeing him and all these kids, how important is it to be a godly father?
To me, it's about obedience. So if I'm being obedient to the things that I'm learning when I'm reading in the scriptures and learning in that stuff, it's very important. I have to lead by example. It's about number one on my thing, and I'm very honest because I do have a lot of kids. I have 9 kids, and my ministry starts with them at home. But now I'm breaking off. Like, I have him a lot. I have other kids in my life a lot. God just started to highlight these kids in my life. And
how has that disciplined you? I feel like that'd be like a lot of discipline.
It is.
Like knowing that they're watching you and they're watching your moves. Because all it takes is that one time,
yeah.
I feel like, to mess up,
But
to really mess up, like a big mess up,
Yeah, I mean, but when you're walking that walk and I'm fired up like I am, it's like the little things I do, I could talk to him about. I'm transparent with them. I'm vulnerable with them. I let him know about the things that I've gone through in my life, and things like that. And certain situations that you wouldn't probably talk about, maybe you might feel led like, yeah, you can't, like, but God kind of highlights that because enable my testimony and walking the way I've walked to try to show them, hey, don't do that. Because I wasn't always a Christian, right? So I had many years where I was running the streets just like these kids were starting to. They don't have fathers. I don't have a father. So to me, it's important to be more transparent and be like, no, look, I'm sorry I was wrong. Like, whose dish is that? Oh, whoa, whatever. It wasn't his or something like that. It doesn't matter. But I can learn also not only to try to walk that walk, but know, hey, when I mess up, I mess up. Hey, forgive me. I'm sorry I was wrong, or I heard something wrong, or try to come out. I'm having a bad day. I'm able to look at them and be transparent, and they know I'm being truthful. I don't lie to them. You know what I mean? And I think that not only for my children, but the kids I'm going to lead. But in saying that, I don't make very much room for that. You know what I mean? So it's utmost important to walk the walk that you're walking.
Yeah.
And talk it out. Because if I'm not, these kids know. These kids here, they know the real stuff. I can't sit there and fake it and patty cake it and be like, oh, this and that, because they're going to see right through you.
Yeah.
I get right down on their level, and I talk to them, and I see them. When David was highlighted to me, I was like, oh, man. And who would have known, like, you know, a year later, here I am mentoring him the way I am and feeding into his life and speaking into his life scriptures. Hey, do you know about this? Have you read this? Have you seen this? Said him those things that I took so long to learn, to teach them at a young age. You know what I mean? So they know. They're getting the best of the stuff that already took me years to learn. I wanted them to learn right away. I want them to level up as soon as they can, as soon as they can receive it and process it and use it for themselves. Because they're the next generation.
Yeah. Let me ask you, David. So who is Jesus to you?
Oh, that's a good question. Jesus to me, for starters, my Lord and Savior, my best friend. And like, I don't know, like how else to explain it other than like he's my Lord and Savior, my best friend. Like, it's someone who died for me specifically, you specifically, him specifically, you know. And yeah, I don't really know how else to explain it other than like I love him. Like that's my best friend right there.
What do you believe your purpose is within the camp?
To raise up the next generation. Just be that leader and to be open and vulnerable. You know, at a moment notice things change. So I'm open to the things changing. I'm also, as I'm pouring out, I'm letting others pour into me. Other leaders that, you know, come generations like Uncle John, PJ, and all of them, listening to their ideas, listening to other people's ideas of what they think might help me out. Never being closed off to anything, but being more open-minded to the goodness that they have, the things that they're doing, and passing that down. I can't do all this mentoring and stuff by myself. No, they fed into me and gave me this role. One thing that stuck out to me is PJ's like, we think more of you than you think of yourself, and that's what God does. God thinks more of us always than we always think of ourselves. We're worthy to the task, but we need to be trained up sometimes. So I'm always coming in like that. I'm always coming in with that fire, that energy, the uncomfortableness, right? Always coming out of my comfort zone. Hey, I'm gonna go break dance over here and whatever. I'm gonna go do arts and crafts to make some kind of hat. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to show these kids that I will do what you guys are gonna do too. So to me, that's important.
So, as a leader, what do you do? I think it would be good to tell the audience this too. Is what do you do to stay disciplined on a daily basis? Because you know it's like minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. What do you do to stay disciplined with God in order to be able to come and lead these kids?
Well, I wake up early. I wake up about 3:20, 3:30 every morning. I get into prayer. I put that armor of God on. I have it on my mirror. I have things written on my mirrors, scriptures. And I wake up and I spend that time with God. I have about a 40-minute commute to work. I'm listening to worship, I'm listening to Bible verses, or I'm listening to sermons. About 15 minutes before work, I shut that all down, and I just start talking to him, start praying, whatever I need to. About getting that prayer, and I leave myself 2-3 minutes at least to just be silent. Because that time right there in that morning is what I need. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to be honest, while I'm at work, I'm listening to podcasts, sermons, scriptures, going through the Bible, worship music. I'm constantly feeding myself while I'm at work because I can have an earpiece in there, so I might as well feed myself with something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm constantly going into that, and I want to grow.
How important is it to feed yourself like that?
It's number one. I can't, if I'm not feeding myself and learning, I can't feed into him. I can't pour into him. If I'm not getting that time with Jesus, then I'm going off road. You know what I mean? It's a narrow path you got to stay on, not that wide one, right? And if I get off those paths and I get off that, I can easily slip back into my old life, into my old ways, into the old things. So being disciplined is like training yourself up. We soldiers around here. They like to call our team the Special Forces, and it's like, hey, we coming in strong, military-minded, ready to stomp it out. Because I want the devil to be, oh man, when I wake up, oh man, Devin's awake. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I'm like, oh, I'm awake now. What's up? Let's go. Fired up. And I want to teach these kids that. Because it's not just reading it's about discipline too. And being disciplined in the things, being obedient to what you hear. And it's not always easy to do the things that you're like, oh man, that's kind of crazy. Kind of pushing me into this area that I'm like, I don't know about. But you're never going to go into the areas he wants if you just stay in your comfort zone. So you have to be uncomfortable. You have to be like, man, and leaning on people. I think, like I've said it before in your podcast, having that Paul, Barnabas, and Timothy, man, is something that keeps me grounded, because then I can figure out where I need to go and what I need to do, and I don't have to do it alone. First of all, I have his word, right? Praying to him. People say, oh, I don't hear God, I don't hear God. Well, this word is telling you what to do. Get into his word. And every time I get into that word, something else is highlighted to me that I can bring along a scripture that can help me with something or something like that through prayer. And his word's right there to give you that book to just get into it. And I think that's most important, is being disciplined in that book, hearing into that word, and diving deeper in.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, so have you thought about what what is he doing in your life right now, where he's trying to lead you?
I haven't thought too hard on it other than this camp. I know that this camp is, for one, is something that I need in my life. I don't know where I'd be without this camp, if I'm like really being honest, because there was no other camp that I ever like wanted to go back to. I was like, and so that's one thing. And then, I'm so sorry, I forgot the question.
That's all good, man. No, I'm just saying, so where do you think God's leading you?
Oh, so definitely with these kids, to be able to relate to these kids, like, you know, like I've been there, I did that, I've been where you're at, and I felt that too. And to be able to show these kids, again, like the love that people have shown me, or the love that I felt at this camp, that made me want to come back, and made me want to serve, and made me want to do more. Yeah, that's really where I feel he's leading me, to be with these kids.
What are you feeding into them right now? From what you've learned from everybody and everything that you've been doing, and are you reading and praying on a regular basis too?
So yeah, I read. Devin gave me a book to start reading in the Bible, and so I really love that book specifically because there's a show that we're watching, and the book like that I'm in right now is going like along with the show perfectly, and it's so cool to see it and then to read it too. And so you know, a lot of these kids up here are really fearful. You know, they never had someone there to tell them like it's gonna be okay, like we're gonna make it through this, like there's nothing to be scared of because God's really got you. He's got you. And so, no, even earlier before I came in, I just had to, I kind of wanted to put it in one of my teammates' minds that, like, God's got you, dude. He's not going to let nothing touch you, like, because no weapon formed against you shall prosper, you know, like, he's gonna lay his hands on you, bro, and you're gonna be safe. So a lot of these kids, I've been trying to, like, reassure them that, like, he's got you. And then
So we have a lot of people that watch the show. Our audience is even kids. So if we have kids watching the show and they were going through what you were going through, angry and issues with their parents, what would you say? They have no experience in the camp, no experience with God, right? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to find somebody who can match, like, your personality, or like someone like Devin who will get you out of your comfort zone in a good way, that's gonna make you, like, smile and be like, well, like, I never thought I'd be doing this, and be having fun with it too. Like, I've never been a loud person ever. Well, he's never noticed me back when I used to come to camp, because I didn't want to be in the spotlight. I didn't want people to notice me. I just wanted to be here just to be here and to get on with it. And so I already lost my voice within the first 6 hours of getting to this camp.
Someone was saying that on here. Dang, he already lost his voice.
Yeah,
What?
within the first
we have
6
campers
hours.
watching this right now.
Okay. So within the first 6 hours of camp, on the first day, I lost my voice because me and Devin were trying to fire it up.
Oh, we weren't trying. We were.
Oh, we were firing
You know
it
what
up.
I mean?
Okay, that's my bad. But, yeah,
So
man.
we have in the chat right now, we have another Devin. He says, so proud of you both. And then he says, we love you guys. That's from another comment. And then we have another one in the comments saying, look at Jesus shine through you both. So just some stuff that's in the chat right now.
Yes,
we have a lot of people watching right
That
now.
might be my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amanda said, so Amanda said, look at Jesus shine through you both. The Devin, that's your son?
It
He's a
might be
junior?
Junior, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Thanks for the chat. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for writing in the chat. So tell us a little bit about where you want to see this camp go.
I want to see it go in the hands of these kids. You know what I mean? That's what we're raising them up for. That's the goal, right? We can't do this forever. I need the next fired up. I need the next mentors. We need the next directors. We need the next prayer teams, the medical teams. We don't want this camp just to die out. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about Uncle John and Auntie Liz's vision, is that they want to model this thing so other people can do it, other churches can do it, other things can do it. It's not just about them. So it's like, yeah, this guy could be the next fired up, or his own version of it. You know what I mean? And the next and the next and the next. Because I know I ain't going to be here until I can't be here. Because as my whole family's been here. And continue to come and come back.
Why are you so dedicated to the camp?
Because I see what it does. This camp touched me the first year.
Tell the people what it does.
It changes lives. It breaks the chains. It works, and it's anointed. God's hands on it. Nothing is gonna work this well unless God's in it. And when I'm here, I feel my purpose. This is my Christmas. I wait all year for this. I get all fired up. I'm like, it's camp time, like, and this is my purpose. And when you're living in your purpose, there's nothing like it. I wouldn't trade any of this. You know what I mean? I wouldn't take jobs in my interviews because they're like, oh, we can't give you those days. Well, I can't take this job. And that's how passionate I am about this. And that's why I fight. Man, I'm so fired up. Like, and to see the fruits of the, 5 years ago I was here, 6 years ago these kids were here, and they're coming back and wanting to be mentors. They're not being forced to be mentors. They want to be mentors. And to see, bro, that's it right there. That's it. You know what I mean? And man, it's Christmas. It's like a 4-day Christmas, man. You know what I mean?
So I want to ask you then, because you obviously want to be a mentor, is that something you would want to do, is take over and be a mentor like him and keep growing in this camp?
it is something that I would want to do, and it is something that probably gonna have to do because someone's got to do it, and if nobody else is gonna do it,
Are you willing to put in that work?
I'm willing to put in that work, and I'm willing to serve and be here for God's work, to do God's work.
Why does everybody here like to serve? That is one thing I just keep hearing, and I've never heard it from so many people.
Well, we're not called here to be on this earth to live our own lives and do our own thing. You know, like Jesus didn't come here to do his own thing and make it known like, oh, I'm the one. You know, he came here to serve. Jesus Christ came here to serve. The Son of God came here to serve people. And so, why not me? Like, if he's doing it, why am I not doing it? Like, and so one of the big things about this camp is it's not about you. It's about these kids and everything that the camp is doing for them. So, yeah, serving is a big thing here.
I like that. I have never thought of it the way you guys are thinking about talking about it all the time, because everybody's saying it that way. Like, we came here to serve, and we're serving, and you guys are all working hard, getting up early, doing all these jobs, and making sure everything's running right. And a lot of younger people don't want to do that. I mean, come on, we know that. Look at how they don't even want to do anything now. The younger people now. So, what fired you up for that then? Like, because I mean, is it Jesus? Is it what he's done in your life? What is it?
It is a lot of Jesus and what he's done for me, because he saved me from a real bad, a real dark hole, you know, that I didn't know how to climb out of. And but then seeing people that are fired up like Devin, that love to be here, and the way that he gets these kids riled up, dude, it touches my heart for real, because a lot of these kids come here like shy. I don't really want to what's it called? Not interact, but I don't really want to participate in activities. Like, I'd rather sit and kind of watch. But he'll go and get them. Like, come on, let's fire it up. Let's go and get it. Like, we got this. And a lot of these kids, he gets them out of their comfort zone. And I've never really heard it, but I know the parents, like, they'll go back to their parents and tell them about stuff they did, and their parents will be like, what? Like, you did that? Because even going home to my mom, she was like, what, you did that? You went up there and said this and that? Or you went up there and danced? Like, what? And, yeah, man, it's crazy, like, what this camp what it does to the kids, or even us as mentors, you know, because, yeah, it is about the kids, and it does so much for the kids, but even as some of the 80-year-old people that are here, man, it's still to this day touching their heart and working in their lives in ways that they would have never imagined, you know?
Yeah. So I want to ask you, I'm going to ask both of you so you have time to think.
Okay.
What is a scripture that stands out to you?
I mean, I have my life verse. It's Isaiah 40:31. I actually have it like tatted right here. And it's wait on the Lord, and he will give you wings like eagles and strengthen you so you can walk and not faint and run and not be weary. So that's a scripture that's always, you know, kind of sticked out to me and been there for me and helped me through a lot of things. And you know, that's one of the first scriptures I ever memorized too. So, and yeah, just right now, a lot too is like Romans 5, where it talks about trials and tribulations will you know, get you you know what I mean? It's in my
Prevent?
head. Yeah.
Oh.
Persevere.
Oh, persevere.
Perseverance and help you through things. Like, so it's like my trials and things that I go through, it strengthens me. So the things that I'm going through down the hill with my family, any help, like things, kid things and all that stuff, when I'm sitting here serving these kids, it helps me. Like, I got broke the first night, and I was here, and I was like, what's going on this year? And like, you know, and I was just like, woof. And it was just the burdens and the things that were on me just were like, kind of, here, let me take that for you. You know what I mean? So those are like verses that I'm really looking at right now. Just a lot of not about you kind of verses, right? It's not about us, it's about serving kind of things. When I come here, I feed myself for, and get ready for it, because it isn't about us. It's nothing that we do here is for me. It's not about me going to heaven and having that personal relationship with Jesus. It's about how many can I help plant the seed so they can. So a lot of times when I get here, I'm like looking at scriptures, or I'm fasting. I'm, you know what I mean, getting ready to go to war.
So you fast, you prepare before you come here.
Yeah, you kind of have to when you're dealing with warfare, because I don't feel like I deal with the little things anymore. You know what I mean? Before,
Explain.
there's an unseen world, spiritual warfare that is real, and for order for me to battle that battle, I have to be with Jesus, and being with Jesus, that's part of it. Praying, fasting, and giving. That's what we're called to do as Christians. And I like food, you know what I mean. But I found a new way of it this last coming year to really put into that and really be intentional about, you know, being in those things and getting those things done, and you know, not every year I would do that, but this year's different.
Yeah.
I knew what I was walking into with some things in this year, and I knew what was going on in my household, and I'm tired of it. So I'm finding new ways to battle, and in those they're strengthening me. In those, there is pain, there is heartache, but my faith will not be shaken. I'm the head of my household, and the enemy wants to come for me. And you can try all you want, because my God's got the victory. But I have to be obedient, and I have to be disciplined so I can feed into these kids. I can't tell another kid to fast if I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I can't tell another kid to pray and be in the scripture if I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? I can't tell a kid to serve and give and do all the things they need to do as a mature Christian if I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? If I'm not fighting those battles for them. I pray for this young man a lot. And I tell him, be honest with me. What do you need prayer? Don't sugarcoat nothing with me. Because I'm not going to be the one to go and, you know, ring the bell or snitch. You know what I mean? What I say with a lot of these kids about mentoring is, what you say with me stays with me. I don't even talk to my wife about stuff that some of these kids tell me. You know what I mean? Because that's how much I honor them coming to me with their vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to leak that out a little bit. I might tell my wife, hey, pray with me for this individual or something, but I won't give the details. I don't have to. Because me and my wife come together as one. And even though she couldn't be here this year, she's still down there battling and doing soaps and praying. She told me first time we were up here, she did like 7 soaps. You know what I mean? So having that backing me and God, and seeing what, you know, these kids are saying to me about how I'm honoring them. Like, this kid went and washed my feet yesterday in the service, and just like praying over me and crying. It's like, that's something hard to do. That's something you really got to, like, you know what I mean? And he's what, 18, 19, you know what I mean? Like, at that age, he's doing that. I wasn't doing that.
But what do you think about that? Because there's so many people out there that they're not getting any prayers. So, like, to know someone's praying over you or having people pray over you, that's like a huge thing. Because there's so many people that just don't get that. Mm-hmm. So before I ask you the scripture, what do you think about that?
It makes me feel special. It makes me feel seen, and that people really care about me and want the best for me. Because I've had multiple people come up to me this year, like this camp, and tell me like, wow, it's so good to see you. I've been praying for you this whole year, that I was gonna see you again at this camp, or that I was praying for you for this, or I was praying for you for that. But and that makes me feel really special, but it hits a whole lot different with Devin, because Devin does a lot for me. Whether it's in the scriptures, sending me scriptures, sending me podcasts to watch, sending me like revival nights, like or even from in this camp and even outside of this camp, Devin does so much for me, and it makes me really feel, it hits my heart to know that Devin thinks about me like that.
So tell me the scripture that stands out to you.
I'm not really sure why this scripture stands out to me. I think maybe it's possibly because I used to be kind of shy about my faith. But one scripture that really stands out for me, and it stood out for me for a long time, was Matthew chapter 10, verses 32 and 33. Therefore, whoever confesses me before man, I will also confess before my Father in heaven. But whoever denies me before man, I will deny before my Father in heaven. And yeah, I think that verse really speaks to me because of how shy I used to be with my faith. I used to tell my friends, like, yeah, like I just went to church this morning, like it was cool, you know, this and that, and people would laugh at me. What, like you go to church?
I get that too all the
Like,
time.
what
So.
the heck? And so it made me shy for a long time. But again, Devin, he's worked so many ways in my mind and in my life that when I come here and I see someone like him who's just out there on fire for God, it makes me want to be it makes me want to tell everyone, you know, about what God's done for me, about what Camp's done for me, about everything that's happened to me because of God.
You know what's wild is you hear all this stuff about, like, people are like, oh yeah, I'm studying Buddha, or I'm studying the rocks, or I'm studying all this other stuff, and nobody says anything. But once you say I serve Jesus, everybody wants to mess up to you. It's always Jesus. It's always trying to fight. And all he did, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, all he did was love. Why would you hate him? All he did was love. It's like it's obviously the enemy just always trying to come in their mind. I have a friend that's just always trying to clown me because I've been doing these podcasts all about God, and he's like he's an atheist, and he's always writing to me saying things. It's like, why do you keep doing that? If I was talking about Buddha or something else, you'd be all like, hey, whatever, you know. But since I'm talking about Jesus, it's bothering you. It's like it's getting to him that we keep doing these podcasts. He doesn't like it, but he keeps having something to say about it. You know what I mean? But it's only Jesus. Why is it only Jesus? Why do you think that?
I mean, Jesus was persecuted, man. You know what I mean? Like, persecution comes with it. He was persecuted, so why are we?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So we're not
like
greater
it.
than our master.
Oh, yeah, I love it, man. I'm always feeling if I'm cruising through life, then I might be not doing something right, man, because there's always, like, something trying to come against me or whatever, I mean. And that's why I got it tatted all over my head. Like, you know what I mean? I got Jesus on the top because he's the head of me. You know what I mean? He's on the top of my head right there. People be like, why you
wild.
like, oh, Jesus, man, that's why you this, why you that. But right there.
That's cool. You got the crosses right there, too.
Yeah, the crosses, you know what I mean? Because all those tattoos mean something to me.
Yeah,
yeah. The thief on the cross. You know what I mean? Yeah. Today you will be with me in paradise. That's how, you know what I mean? Like, I don't deserve anything, and it's by His grace that I am saved. So I don't deserve this. I don't deserve these things they're saying to me. But so I take it like this, man. He went to the cross and took a beating for me. So I'll take your laughter. I'll take this and that. And there's many people that just ain't in my life no more because I can't have you in my life.
Yeah.
Something that Uncle John like say, you lay with dogs, you're gonna get fleas, man. And I don't like, you know what I mean, getting bit like that. So you know what I mean. So.
That's cool. I mean, that you guys don't even, because I don't care what people think.
No, yeah.
So I keep doing it. I just don't care. So, I mean, I think that's great that you guys just don't care about it. I mean, what is it going to do? It's obviously the enemy trying to come
with the territory.
You know, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
Because they don't like it.
Yeah, but we ran out of time. I want to thank you guys for coming on.
It's our pleasure.
It was dope, man. It was
thank
nice.
you.
If you guys can look at the camera and just say, "He's got you."
Which one?
Any of them, right? Any of them? Okay.
Come on, let's go.
One.
The black one? Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna
Ready? 1, 2, 3. He's
got you.
Howls over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas, and we are out.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Cool. That was dope.
Thank you guys so much.
You guys have